Okay, so the full platform walkthrough will begin with each of the modules that you guys see on the left-hand side here. We'll start with the screener, go into watch list and alerts, and then after alerts, we'll cover dashboard and the functionality of the platform itself. So with the screener, the generalized layout of the platform that you guys will see over here is, your left-hand side at the very left here, we have the menu. You could hide or open the menu. So I like to hide it because it gives me extra space. Some people like to keep it open. That's perfectly fine. You'll get used to some of the icons here over, when you use it for a couple of weeks. So you could always hide it and then switch back and forth with the modules that way. So that's the left-hand menu. We have the dashboard, which is one of the modules which combines everything in one place. We have the screener, we have watch lists, alerts, and then at the bottom here, you can switch the markets into pre-market mode, post-market, or regular market. We'll cover that today. And then your account settings. So you could access your account settings. You could go from light mode to dark mode. So if you'd like dark mode, you could toggle that on and it saves that setting. And then if you ever need help or have questions, etc., you click this help icon, the pop-up will show up. You could contact us, go to our knowledge base. So any questions that you guys ever have, and you click this knowledge base, you'll see that this is a really good way of, you can search up anything. We're extensively updating this every single day. And then we have webinars. So prior webinars that we've done, they're all accessible here. And then the status of the application. So if you're experiencing an outage, etc., this is a real-time dashboard of how things are looking. So we did have, for example, if you hover over this, slight outages on the data servers, but with 99% uptime. So this is the real-time status if you guys ever do experience an outage. So let's go back to Deepvue. So we have the left-hand menu, which I just covered, and you guys can quickly switch modules back and forth, and that works out really, really well. You could have it open, you could have it closed. I would suggest you have it closed. That gives you just more screen real estate. The second thing I want to cover is the top navigation bar. So the top navigation bar is very similar to all, across all modules, with the first one being search symbols. So if I were to click this, you get, search by symbol. This is a global search that is available throughout the platform. So if I am ever anywhere at all and I start typing in a ticker, it will automatically detect that I'm typing something into the platform. The global search or search by symbol window will pop up, and you can pretty much search for anything. So if I search Apple, etc., it will show me everything that contains, these particular words that I just typed in. So that's the first thing you want to be really familiar with. At any point, anywhere in the application, if you start typing, right? If you start typing, this search by symbol will show up, which makes it really, really easy for you to look up symbols right away. The second thing that we have in the navigation across the application is, for example, if I'm in the screener module and I have a My Screens dropdown, right? So if you're in the watch list module, you'll have a My Watch List dropdown, right? If you're in the dashboard module, you have My Dashboard dropdown. This is where everything is saved. So if I'm creating a screen or I want to organize my screens like I have here with folders, it will do the same thing. So if I click this My Screens dropdown, anything that I build in the application, a screener that I want to access later on, or like I have an earnings folder, which focuses on earnings screens. I have a corrections folder when the market's in correction. I have a daily routines folder, a weekend. You can set it up whichever way you like. There's no right way to go about it, but we give you the functionality to create folders, right? To create folders and create screeners as well, and save them so that you don't have to run them over and over again. So that's the My Screens drop down. So the My Screens drop down, you could save your screens with folders, etc. And then the second is your screener presets. So your screener presets these are pre-made screens that we've worked on, where if you click over the top traders, we have we're working actively with Caruso. Jim Ropel, my own, screens that I'm running that people request, Dr. Wish, Minervini, Stan Weinstein, Paula Maggie, Oliver Kell, Mike Webster, Stockby, Leif, Ben, etc. So we worked with, we have over 51 by, the next couple of weeks we'll get closer to, 60 to 75 screens that are, we work directly with traders to build them into the platform, and it kind of becomes a hobby. It's really cool to see, what Matt Caruso is screening for, or really cool to see what Minervini trend templates look like, or Stan Weinstein's, scans as well for stages, etc. So we're always adding to screener presets to make it really, really easy for you to come into the platform and access these pre-made screens right away. So there's a couple of things with presets that you want to be aware of. That none of the criteria that we have is some sort of secret. So if I were to click this and I say edit filter, you'll see that the criteria for this filter is available. So there's no hidden, there's nothing hidden here, but we make sure that, we work with these traders one-on-one to make, they have direct input. Well, the last week when we implemented mini coil, I reached out to Caruso. He gave me this criteria. We configure it into the platform, straight into the platform based on their input. So screener presets are a really great way to get access to the screens by top traders. And the neat thing is you get to see the criteria. So it's not, a black box where, the Caruso mini coil, what does it look for? You could always look at the criteria. What happens is when you click these three dots, right next to them, you could duplicate that screen as well. So you could take that screen based on their criteria and make it your own by duplicating it and having it under your saved screens as well. So that capability also exists where I could take a Matt Caruso screen, duplicate it, right? Store it, let's say just for now in my testing folder, and then call it, just say something like my version of it, right? And then you could completely tweak that criteria. So that screen is now going to load. I go to edit filter. Let's say, I want to decrease the 30 million, average dollar volume on a 50-day basis, which is configured to 30 million right here, 30 million. I want to change that to 15 million. And I could do that, and then I could tweak that screen to my liking as well. So that capability exists where you're not stuck with the criteria that top traders, have given you, but you could duplicate those and make those things, your own. Just this alone, I would say this particular functionality, where you get to access screens from different traders. We worked with them one-on-one to get them into the platform, and we'll continue doing so for quite a while. So we also have Deepvue screens, which kind of, which use the proprietary stuff that we've kind of built. For example, the relative measured volatility calculations, etc. So we do have our own, Deepvue universe, Deepvue leaders. These are screens that we've thought of, me, Richard, Ross, and Nick. We put our brains together to kind of build some cool, really robust, unique screens that you could run right away as well. For example, the Deepvue universe gives you a pool of stocks that have been really, really strong in the markets. When you click edit filter, you can see exactly the criteria that we were using for them. So this is our base liquidity criteria. We want really strong stocks on a 1, 3, and 12-month basis. We want stocks in the top industry group, and we want stocks that are above the 50-day, etc. So this particular screen was just built based on, we want to give people a universe of stocks to look at. And from here on, it gives you a good watch list to go through and see the health of the market right away. So all of these that we've spoken about, and I will not override any changes here, discard. So all of these changes that are available under screener preset, all these screens that are available under the screener preset, I definitely check out, this is a great way for you to look at, what things you could build in the platform itself to learn the screening module as well and how robust it could be with the different advanced screening or some basic screening criteria. If you guys ever have any ideas on what, which trader you want to see under top traders, for example, or you guys want us to build a screen around a particular setup that you see in the markets that doesn't exist in Deepvue. We're always open to suggestions. We're always taking a look at how we can make this platform better and easier for you to, use on a daily basis as well. So any ideas that you have as we go through this presentation today, you could click this help, right? You click the contact us. It will prompt you, hey, I have a question. I want to report an issue that I'm having, or I have a feature request. So once you click feature request, we'll go to this form and we'll say, hey, what is your, what is your feature request related to, which module? Give us a description and email. If you record and just talk to us about it, it's the best thing. If you want to screenshot it, that's also fine. But it gives us a really clear picture of what you want to see in the platform as a user, and we're always implementing those ideas when it comes to any module in Deepvue. So this particular dropdown, right? So the first one is your search symbol, where you can search any symbol anytime in the platform. And the second one is your My Screens, which is, you can save these different screens as well. And you could also access screener presets, which we've pre-built for you. Again, you could duplicate any of these. You could look at the criteria of all of them. None of this is a secret. And you could, you can make them your own by duplicating them and then having them under your saved screens. The third button that we see, and we'll go ahead and actually create a live screen right now, just to give you guys an idea of exactly how to use the platform itself. So if I go to, click new screen, what you will see is a pop out that comes on the right side. So here you'll see all the screenable criteria that we currently have in the platform as of today. So they're broken down into different categories. So we have this general criteria, earnings and sales related, sector, industry, fundamentals, price volume, technicals, institutions, and insider data, and then our proprietary rating systems that we've built into the platform. What you will also see is how many different data points we have under each of these categories. So we have a really robust screener for earnings and sales. We have a lot of price and volume and technical data, and we're always looking to add more data, especially this summer. As we go through the end of Q2 and early Q3, we're going to add a lot more data to the platform, be it, related to mainly fundamentals, so ROE, margins, etc., or related to institutional insiders and ownership data as well. So those are things that are always coming to the platform. If there's anything, again, that you guys see that's not available, you could always request it through the help menu and click contact us and put in a feature request. We look at all of those and nothing is read, everything is read and nothing's ignored. So if we take a look at, let's just build a simple screen to showcase the capability of Deepvue. So if I go under proprietary ratings, what I want to look for here is relative measured volatility because it's really unique to our platform. It's a way of measuring tight price action, right? And as you go through any of these data points and you hover over any of these, you'll get a brief description of what the data point is, how it works, what the purpose is. So anywhere I go and I click, hover over price, it will give me a tooltip explaining what that is. So if I go to technicals and I hover over beta, it will say, this is what beta is and how we've configured it into the platform. So let's go to proprietary ratings, and then let's go to relative measured volatility, which is a quick way of finding tight stocks in the market. Let's say I want the 20-day relative measured volatility to be less than, the closer to 0 you get, the tighter it gets. So let's just actually put in less than 5 and click add. Now, what we've done is we went from a 12,000 symbol database down to 2264 stocks that are showing tightness relative to themselves on a 20-day basis. Let's just add some liquidity criteria because that's always important. I just want stocks above 10 to show on my screen. Now we're at 1363. And let's go to price and volume and just put in the fact that I want average volume to be greater than some number. So if I type in average at the very top, the search average volume comes up. It will scroll me down to that so that I can access it right away. Let's just say I want the 20-day volume to be 10 million. So now that's the other thing I want to showcase is this is smart enough to really pick up what you're trying to do. So if I type in 10 and I say M, it will go to 10 million itself. Or if I go to 10K, it will go to 10,000 itself, right? Or if I go, 1.5 billion, it will go to 1.5 billion. So we have that functionality built in, so you're not typing in 1 million by yourself, right? So just not many folks are aware of that. So let's just put in 15 million. I want that as a liquidity criteria, and now it gives me 4 stocks that are getting relatively tight to themselves that meet this criteria. The last price is greater than 10. The average daily volume and number of shares is above 15 million, and the relative measured volatility is less than 5. So these are super tight stocks. If I click save screen, now you get to save the screen itself. So we'll say screen name. So let's just say test, or let's just say demo RMV. We could select a folder, or you can create a folder, right? You can create a new folder on the fly. So if I click this, we'll create a new folder. Let's just call this demo folder, create. It will select that folder now for you automatically. And I could give this a description as well, just so that I remember it. So RMV less than 5 type stocks. You can put whatever description you like, and we could click save. Now that screen is now loaded here. It says demo RMV. That's the name that we gave it. If I click this drop down, we have the demo folder, which we also created. And then underneath that demo folder, we have demo RMV. That's the screen that we created. Now, what happens is we click edit filter again. Let's say we want to, look at our criteria. We see that, and we see these different criterias right here that show up. We could always come back and edit things. We could get rid of things, etc. And then we could also save those changes that we make. So if we take a look at some of these names, so we have 4 screener results that have come up, right? NVAX, PLTR, SPAQ, and WALE. So these are the ones that met the criteria for the screen that we created. And let's say, for example, I want to get rid of last is less than 10. Now you get increased number of results. So you could start tweaking some of these criterias back and forth to kind of see, how you get more results in your screener, or how you could get less results in your screener. So CGC's is showing up, AMC showing up. Some of these lower price stocks, when I got rid of last greater than 10, start showing up on the screen. So that's another way for you to take a look at. So the other thing that I do want to make you guys aware of is, let's say, for example, I click edit filter, right? I can hover over this eye, and it will show me the description that I gave this particular screener, which is always good to know. And then the other thing is, when I click edit, I can come in and rename these to whatever I want. So if I just put a 1 at the end of these, save these changes, shows RMV1, and then the description is also updated when we hover over the eye. So that's, search symbol. To search any symbol at any time, you just start typing in your keyboard and the search symbol will come up. We have the second drop down, which is save screens. When you're under the screener module, your saved screens can be saved in a folder. Your screener presets also can be saved, duplicated, and brought over into your saved screens, or you could just run these every day, right? If I just want to come in and this hover's really annoying, we got to fix that. But if I want to run the Jim Ropel 2020 screen, and I want to look at the criteria for it, that is also available here, right? So any of these presets, if I want to run Deepvue Universe, click here, I can see the criteria for Deepvue Universe. So that's the second drop down. You could create a new screen, you could edit filters. Now let's move to the right side of what we see here, right? So the right side of what we see and what that functionality represents. So the first one is export. You could copy symbols to Twitter. Should probably change this to X. You could copy symbols to your clipboard. You could export anything to a CSV or Excel file. And that works for all screens that you see right here, right? The other thing is, you could share anything to X. So if I were to share to X, it will say, hey, can I capture your screen? It's going to ask you for your permission. You click allow, and you have that come up. You could type in any message, and it will just connect. It connects. It will, if it's not connected, it will connect your account to Twitter. You'll go through that process, and then it will give you a screenshot of what is shared, and then you could post that on your social media. So that's this particular button right here that allows you to do that. Now, next is you'll see some of these toggles that show up. So when I click the first one, it says stats table. The stats table shows up at the bottom of your chart right here. It will show up at the bottom of your charts, which shows you earnings and sales. So it's a table that shows you, historical data for this particular stock and what they've reported, and it shows you future data as well in terms of estimates that are available. This is also available on a quarterly or annual basis, so you could toggle back and forth. And you could also see, I want 4 quarters of data only, or I want more 8 quarters, or if you want 4 years or 8 years of data that is available. You could also toggle on and off estimates. So let's say I don't want to see estimates data. I just want to see actual data that's been reported. You could toggle that on and off. And the same thing for earnings and sales. So if you're not interested in sales data, you could turn that off. Or if you're only interested in sales data, they could turn off the earnings data. So all these settings are remembered on the fly, so you don't have to come back and do that stuff over and over again. And it's the same thing over here. So you could, if you don't want the stats table at all, you just click it, it will go away. And you click it back, it will highlight a blue indicating that this stats table is active. The next thing that you see on the right side here is the data panel. And the data panel, essentially what it does, if I go to my saved ones right here, is a list of data points that are important to you. And we recently rolled out an update that introduced data panel presets. We're in the midst of working with top traders, which you'll see next week, early next week. We rolled it out into the long weekend, so we've had a bit of trouble getting hold of people to get more data panel presets in here. But after the long weekend, you will see a lot more presets in here. It's the same idea that we have with screener presets with our top traders that we work with. We're working with those same traders to come in here and go to data panel presets, and we're gonna have a preset by Matt Caruso. We're gonna have a preset by Oliver Kell. What are the most important data points these top traders are looking at on a daily basis? So those you'll be able to access right away. And it's the same approach. You'll be able to see what they're looking at. You can duplicate it to make your own, just like we did. And then under saved data panels, you could create folders as well to organize. For example, I have a different set of data points I want to look at when I'm going through ETFs. Or I have a different set of data points I want to look at when I am looking for, looking at weekly charts only, right? So there are many different use cases that will come up, and we will showcase over the next couple of weeks here. Also, we're gonna have many top traders, come in, and we'll work with them one-on-one to get the most important data points to them and their data panels into the platform as well. So that's data panel over here. You click this to turn it off if you don't want to take a look at it, or you could toggle this on and it updates. So if I go from one stock to the next, you'll see that the data in the data panel will automatically update really quickly. So that's that. And then the last two that you see is the single chart view, which is what we're on right now. So we have our screener table, we have our chart, we have our stats table, which we toggled on right here. We have our data panel, which is on the right side over here. And then the second one is mini charts. So if I want to see many charts at once, so we'll go to the mini charts view, and it will load up. It will link to whichever screener that you're on. Let's say I want to run the technical screen for 50 SMA pullback. It will load those results for you, and you could quickly go through them in this mini chart format. Again, when you go to the mini chart view, what you will notice is there's some new options that show up all of a sudden as well. So when you hover over them, they will give you a tooltip. So it'll say, hey, mini chart settings. If I click that settings, it will, you could sort these mini charts by any data point that you wish. So you could sort by earnings, sales, etc. So all these data points you could sort by as well. And then you could also say, hey, on my mini charts, I want to see 65-minute charts only. So it will load up the 65-minute charts for you. Or on my mini charts, I want to see weekly charts only. So it will load up weekly charts for you here as well. You could also change to, line charts only, candlesticks, bars, many different ways to look at mini charts as well. We're continuously improving this particular view in terms of load speed, etc., performance. And then the second button that you see here is a refresh. So if you want to refresh throughout the day and see the different sorting that's available, you could always click this and you'll get, this is more so for when the market is open. So that's mini charts is a different way for you to view your screener results. You get a 2x3 grid setup. We're working on a four across and 2 down as well. So you see 8 charts at once. That should be sometime later in the summer. And then you could go back to your single chart view, which we have here as well. So that's the top menu. What changes really is how you go to different modules in Deepvue. So if I'm going through, if we now click watch list, now this particular top area changes to search symbol remains the same. You go to your saved watch list and watch list presets, right? It's the same concept. You could create a new watch list, right? When you click create, you could save those things. And then we have a tab with your saved watch lists that are available here as well, right? So you can access them right away. There's some improvements that are coming to make this tab design show up also in the screener in a couple of weeks here. That's also in the works. But the rest of it really remains the same. You could export your watch list results. You could post and share. You could disable and enable your stats table. You could disable and enable your data panel. And you could go to the mini charts within your watch list as well. So when you're basically going from your screener to your watch list, there's no huge change in UI. You still have your table that shows your results right here. You still have your chart. That's the main area, and you could toggle on or off any of these things as well. The next thing I do want to mention is this slider. So you want to make sure, so if we go from here to the focus list, and let's say you don't want to see these columns, right? You could hide them and you could only see your symbols column, right? Or you only want to see your columns and you don't want to see the chart. You could stuff this chart right away, all the way to the right side, and we only have a table now. So if we go to the universe watch list or the focus list or HTF, right now, only the table is going to load. Or if I go through when I click this, the chart will pop up, giving you that particular prompt as well, where if I get rid of it and I click one of these rows, right, the chart will pop back up. So this is a slider. You can set up your charts, to any length that you like as to how much screen real estate that they take up in the application. So that's screener and watch list. In Deepvue, you could create infinite number of watch lists included as part of your plan. So there's no limits there. Same thing with screeners. You could create infinite number of screeners and organize them in whichever way you like. So there's no limitations. And now let's quickly go to the dashboard and take a look at how dashboard kind of brings some of this functionality together. So we'll go ahead and create a new dashboard. Let's just call it demo. So if I create a demo dashboard, what happens is this is likely, if you're looking at Deepvue, this is the first screen that you will see. It's a grid setup, right? It's a grid setup that you see. You could click add apps, which is this button right here. So the way it works with the dashboard is you get to add and drag in different apps that you think are useful for your trading. Whereas the screener and the watch list are separate modules. You can have multiple screens and multiple modules up on the same screen when it comes to dashboard. So let's do a few things here. Let's set up a new dashboard. And the way it will work is I can drag in a screener, right? Let's just drag in a few screeners first. I can drag in a chart as well if I like. I want a watch list to show up. I have a stats table as well that I want. I want the position sizing calculator. Now it becomes, you could kind of see what this is starting to become. It becomes a sandbox or a playground for you to have infinite number of, different functionalities on the same page. So we recently added the performance chart, the heat map, scatter plots, etc. They're all coming and will be available very soon. But now you have something like this, right? I can have multiple screens up on, on my dashboard in a single view, right? Whereas the screener only allows you to have one screen up at the same time. Whereas the dashboard, you can have, I can have my correction screen, and then I can also have my daily routine screen up, and then I can have my watch list, my focus watch list be up as well. And all of this kind of, talks to each other, and these different apps, they all talk to each other as well. So let's simplify this a little bit. Don't want to, first is there's infinite number of ways you can set up your dashboard. That's what I wanted to showcase. But let's just do some basic functionality of how things talk to each other. So if I place a screener right here, I could resize, right? I want my screener to be this big, or I want my screener to be that small, right? So you get to control how big or small things look on your dashboard. Now let's say I pull in a chart as well. So let's pull in a chart. And now how do these two things talk to each other, right? How does the chart itself that we have here talk to the screen itself, screen on the right side? What we have is a color-coded group selection system. So if this particular chart is part of group blue and the number 1, right? So we color-coded it blue and it's part of group 1, so is the screener. The screener is also part of this group 1 and color blue. So when I change the symbol on the screener, it will also change on the charts, right? Now, the other thing is, if I were to change this to group 2, and this is on group 1, now they won't get to talk to each other. So if I go through these, you won't see a change in the chart because this is part of your group 1 and this is part of your group 2. Now they can't talk to each other. Whereas if I flip it back to group 1, now they start talking to each other once again. So that's how things in the dashboard itself will speak to each other and how they will communicate back and forth. We have the functionality to give you 9 different, groups that you can set up. People are very creative with this and how they use it, where you can have, 3 charts on the left side and 3 different watch lists or screeners, and they hook them up into different groups and use it, in many different ways. This is just to enable, any creativity that users have when it comes to building their own dashboard and allowing them to customize it to their liking. So let's go ahead and, with dashboards, you could always delete them, edit them, etc. Let's get rid of it. I want to go over my market open dashboard. So I usually have this up on a bigger screen, but this is on my MacBook right now, my 14-inch MacBook. So I have my focus list, my high tight flags, my market gauges, which remains NVIDIA, the universe list, which is all of my lists combined into one. And then I have the HV, the IPO. These are my high volume earning gap up screens. This is the IPO screen, and these are my market. This is just my market. So I have the equal weight and the regular market weighted ETFs here. Now, the way I've set it up is everything is part of this blue group, right? And everything here that I click, any of them, will talk to my chart as well. So everything's part of the same group. So if I were to click any symbol anywhere, the chart will update accordingly to that symbol. So that's how I have set it up. So it shows you that I can have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 watch lists up at once on my right side and 1 chart up as well. I'll also show you guys my daily screens view that I have. So this is the chart mechanism that I have on the left. So I have a chart on the left, and then I have different screens that are running throughout the day. So this is the daily screen. So I have my HV screen. I have absolute strength 1 month. I have my liquidity screen that shows me how liquid stocks are trading in the markets. And then I have my tight range screen, which is dependent on the RMB. Now, the neat thing here is all the functionality that we saw in the screener and watch list carries over into the dashboard. So if I were to edit one of these screens, I can edit this right away without leaving the dashboard, right? The same thing when I go back to my market open dashboard. If I want to add a symbol to any of these, I could just do that right away within this without going back to the watch list module. So the functionality that exists in the screener and the watch list carries over into these screener apps and the watch list apps that we have in the platform. So that's the dashboard. We do have, again, dashboard presets will be coming out in a week or two as well. We will work with top traders there to see, you'll get to see exactly how they lay things out as well, and on their dashboard. And we'll bring the folder capabilities as well. You could create infinite number of dashboards. There's no limitations there at the moment. And this type of design as well, where you could drag and drop to different areas as to, I usually toggle back and forth quite a bit when I'm going through in my trading, where I have it up on my bigger screen. I could have daily screens on one of them, and then I have market open on another, and I could have them side by side as well on a separate screen. So that's the dashboard capability. It brings the screener and watch lists together. Let's quickly dive into alerts for the next couple of minutes here. And then what I'll get into is questions, and we'll try to wrap it up by 9 because I have another webinar at 9. So that's for our founders for Deepvue. So let's go through alerts. So in Deepvue, when you go through what you click watch list, you'll by default get this alerts list as well, right? So I've set 93 alerts in the platform as of today. So these alerts are this is like the alerts list. I could toggle things alerts on and off as I go through them. They will show up on the charts as well. So you could create alerts and have them show up on the charts. But this capability, you get 600 alerts, concurrent server side alerts that you could set. And if we were to edit one of these, you'll see you get some of these options. You can edit them, you can toggle it on and off. You can notify when it rises above or falls below. You can set up a note as well. We have notifications, so you could email yourself these alerts as they trigger. We're getting rid of SMS in a week or two and moving to push notifications. So if you haven't downloaded the Deepvue mobile app, go to your iOS or Android app stores. Just type in Deepvue, you'll see it, and we'll soon have push notifications, which are global, far more reliable, better to use. And then you could also show the notifications in the application itself. So if I were to click this alerts, I get this pop-up. These are some of the alerts that I've received in the past few days. And you get a toggle to see, hey, what's triggered in the last 15 minutes? Nothing. The market is closed today. Past 24 hours, I had one alert. Past week, I have had all these alerts trigger. So, and then past month, it will give you an even bigger list, right, of what has triggered. You could always clear it. I always find it interesting to not clear it, and so that I could go back and see what triggered where, etc. Look at that price action. But you do have the ability to clear it. And then at the bottom, if you say manage alerts, it will bring you in the watch list module to the alerts list, and you could go through your different alerts here as well. You do have the capability to add additional columns here as well. So you can, any data point that's screenable in Deepvue that we covered in this format is also available as a column as well. So there's full flexibility there in terms of creating a table that you like. I have some of these basic ones. I don't tend to use it that much. I just focus on, I have my alerts, which ones are active, which ones are not, which ones have triggered, but there are many different ways that you could go about it in your trading. So those are alerts in Deepvue. One last thing that I would cover is we have many different custom indicators. So if I type in DV dash, so again, sorry, what I did was I went to the charting module that shows up. I clicked indicators and strategies. This pop-up will show up. What you want to do is type in DV dash, and all these custom indicators are ones that we worked on and incorporated into the platform, including the RMB, which shows you, tightness, relative tightness, and price action, etc. So you can add infinite number of indicators to your charts. You could create infinite number of layouts if you're coming over from TradingView. There's no limitations in Deepvue on that. You could get really creative with the layouts that you have as well in the platform. And then charting, if we could sit here all day and talk about charts, but there are many different webinars. If you just go to our YouTube channel and say Deepvue charts, we do walk through, do some in-depth walkthrough of the charting module, which is a whole can of worms that we could open here, but with limited time, I will not be going into those. So that's the platform itself. And what we covered the screener module, we covered the watch list module as well, and then we covered the dashboard. In terms of capabilities, let's just go through, run through a whole bunch of questions, and you guys will really get to see the capability of the platform. So, hi Rai, what does it show percentage instead of price of stock? I'm not sure when that question was. I created a screen. Now I can't get rid of it. And when I click on the screener preset, nothing comes up. How do I get back to the default result? So this is a great question, Sylvia. So any screen that you're running in the platform, how do you get rid of it? You just click this X that is next to the screen to clear out the screener. So if I run any screen and I go to 52-week high, it loads up the results for 52-week high, but how do I get rid of it? I just click the X next to it and you get rid of it and you go back to the full database. I hope that answers your question. How can I add page 2 or a second copy of my chart, including different indicators which don't appear on page 1? So Rick, you can save different layouts. So if I were to load a layout, let's just say I load my markets layout, right? Now I have different settings on my market layout than I do, let's say, for example, in my main layout, right? So my main layout doesn't have any indicators, it's just price, whereas my markets layout has an indicator at the bottom for volume, the DV enhanced volume. So what I would do is I would just go here, make a copy, and then name it anything. And you could save different settings into different layouts in Deepvue. And that's how you would achieve that. I hope that answers the question. I have quite a bit more white space to the right of the scale than you have. Is that somehow adjustable? So yes, it's all adjustable. So if you could get rid of the chart, you can make it, super big, super small. That's one way to go about it. You can get rid of the stats table or enable them. You could get rid of, pretty much all of this is customizable, right? The whole layout is fully customizable as to how you would want it to be. What browsers does Deepvue work best on? Chrome and Edge browsers. Those are your best bet right now. We're always, working to make it more compatible with Safari, Firefox, Brave, and all of these other ones. But your best bet right now is Chrome and Edge. Where do we find these replays? Can you show what to click on? You go to the bottom left, you click the help, and you go to webinars, or the best place is just go to YouTube, type in Deepvue, subscribe to the Deepvue YouTube channel, and we have, we publish 3 to 4 videos a week just going through different features in the platform. That's a good way. We also have weekly onboarding calls that you could join. So the weekly onboarding calls go over kind of the basics that we covered today, or any, specific questions that you have about the platform. Those weekly onboarding calls are good to attend as well. And that's probably something we'll add to this menu later today called events. And that way you could register for the onboarding calls and you kind of get one-on-one, or 10, we have 15, 20 people come in and we answer questions on a one-on-one basis. So all of my screener presets bring no results found. That should not be the case. If that is the case, so if I run the mini coil, you'll have 2 results here. Or if I run the Deepvue universe, you should have some results. If you're experiencing that, just click contact us, report the issue that you have, and the support team will get back to you right away. I found a problem and fixed it. That's awesome. If we got a 2-month trial, but we now want to buy an annual subscription, do you put those next 12 months on the back end of the 2 months? Yes, just contact support. Just contact, if I go here and I click contact us, and if you just have a general question, you want to type that into support, we have a team that will answer that right away. Usually, just to answer your question, yes, we would just tack on the annual subscription as an upgrade, and you're ready to go. Your Deepvue universe screen shows 455 items. That is correct. It's a screen to give you a watch list, and then you go through the 455 names and build a smaller watch list. My screen only shows 41. You likely have modified it and it is different for my screen. If that's not the case, again, you can contact support. We'll figure that out. But usually, if the criteria, the criteria is the same, we're all scanning the same database. Power of 3, okay, etc., etc. I have my data panel on the right. How can I move the unused space to drag out the chart over? So, okay. So when you enable the data panel, right, it's right here. You can switch to a different data panel, etc. But we don't have the capability for you to resize the data panel just yet. I think that's what you're looking for. You can resize the chart back and forth, but you cannot resize the data panel at the moment. How to limit with different markets, like the NYSE and the NASDAQ. What I would do is go to general. You could go to a data point called exchange. So if I just want to look at NASDAQ stocks, you click NASDAQ. Now you selected that. If I want to look at just NYSE stocks, now it's just selected those. So you're looking for the exchange data point, which will allow you to filter by exchange there. Okay, I don't have the data panel button. Scratch that, found the data panel button. Perfect. Where are the price bars? In the layout that I had turned off price bars, so I just loaded a different layout. So if I go to like stocks weekly, I had the layout, with the weekly price bars loaded. So that's where they're at. Dismiss. Can I import my custom indicators into the platform? No, you cannot do that. We use the TradingView charting engine, but we don't have that where you can't import your custom indicators from TradingView. How do you delete an alert that already triggered to remove it from your charts? You just, let's say I have an alert right here. You click that and you click delete. It will delete the line on the chart and also the subsequent alert itself. So you click that and it will bring up a pop-up. You click delete alert. What breadth indicators does Deepvue currently have? So right now we have very minimal breadth indicators, but we are doing an integration in a couple of weeks, about 2 weeks from today. That will bring over 360 breadth symbols. And then out of those breadth symbols, we'll create indicators as well. So there's a whole bunch of work being done there in terms of breadth data and breadth metrics that are coming to the platform, Eric. We have 6 more minutes to answer any questions. Can I use DV on the Indian markets? We will launch the Indian markets and a separate subscription for that in Q4, early Q4, late Q3. If I want to see today's webinar, so is that under the help section? Yes, you go to help section, you click webinars, or you go to YouTube when we upload it. It won't be available right away. We do process it. It takes about a day and it will be posted. If we purchase the annual plan today, is the renewal rate going to be $494? That's a good question. So the first year you'll get $441, and the second year when you renew, it will be $490. So you lock in the renewal price of $490, but the first year you're paying $441. Chris. How do I add a second monitor? Is it limited to 2 monitors? There's no limit. The limit is you could have up to 3 tabs open at the same time on the same computer and have 3 different, let's say dashboards up. That's the only limit that we have. In terms of devices, it's up to 2 devices. So you can have it up on the in terms of devices, you can have it up on your MacBook, for example, and your iPhone. At the moment, we will increase the device limit to 3, but we're not ready for that just yet. Is the Edge browser? No. So you could use any browser for Deepvue. It's not limited to any particular browser. It works best on Chrome and Edge. Do you have plans to add the Anchor VBOP indicator? We already have that. So if you go under the tools, you click this pencil, it will show up this particular menu. You go to right here. If I go to drawing tools, I should see Anchor to VBOP right here. So if I click this one right here, it will bring this pop up and I can select Anchor VBOP. So that's already available in the platform. Will you include Canadian stocks and TSX? Eventually, yes, we will do that. That is in our plans. We will add crypto data. That is coming actually this summer. We're going to add a full real-time, crypto consolidated feed to the platform that will be available 24/7. You had a webinar the other day and I don't see it. Where would it be? We're trying to get them out as fast as possible. We're doing a lot of webinars. We're doing 2 a week in terms of webinars. We're doing 3 tutorials. If you go to the YouTube channel for Deepvue, you'll see all those videos posted. They're also emailed out as well to folks as they come out. When I print a chart, the price column does not print. Yeah, we are aware that you cannot print a chart at the moment. We're working to incorporate that into the platform. This is one of the requests that we're getting again and again. It's being worked on. It's just that you cannot print, you go to file, print, etc. You cannot print, the screen for Deepvue out just yet. Is Deepvue a separate subscription from TradingView? I have TradingView, although hardly used. Deepvue has nothing to do with TradingView. We just use the TradingView charting engine, and there's no other ties at all. We have our own custom indicators, our own capabilities, 600 alerts, unlimited layouts, unlimited indicators on the layout, etc. Part of our plan. So there's no connection or partnership there with TradingView whatsoever. Can sales estimates line be shown as line charts instead of stats table? Mike, yes, it's a great question. We have the Deepvue earnings and sales lines. So you can add the earnings line and those only work on the weekly charts. So I have a random stock up here so that we have the earnings and sales lines that are showing up. And you could also add the DV sales line as well. So, and these have different settings. So you could do a trailing 12 month, you could show or hide the estimates, and you could base it on dollar growth or percent growth in terms of plot, keep it dollar, keep it trailing 12 month. That's what I do. And the same thing for sales. So we have the sales line, trailing 12 month, you could hide or show the estimates, and it gives you the same data as the stats table on your chart. Okay, we got 1 more minute. Can you have your programmer remove the 0 next to this? Yes, we're aware of that. We're gonna get rid of that pretty soon. It's being worked on. Can we run TradingView scripts in the charts? No, you cannot. There's no connection of TradingView and Deepvue. We just use the charting engine, and custom scripting for Deepvue will be in a couple of quarters from today. Please review. In dashboard, I try to emulate a performance screen that Richard showed with 4 performance apps, but only allow 3. Can I add the 4th one? So with the dashboard, it's likely a sizing issue. Just make the 3 performance charts smaller. And once you have them, once they are smaller, they will all fit. You can have up to 10 performance charts on the same screen, and it shouldn't be a problem, Dave. If you do run into an issue, always go to help. Contact us. We'll send you a loom of exactly what you're looking for right away. Why do we use TradingView software? That's a whole can of other worms. We'll have our own charting out later this summer, or sorry, later this year, not this summer. That is in the works and something that we're working on in the background so that we don't we could get rid of TradingView completely. Okay, I have, we do have a time limit today. I do apologize if I haven't answered your question. There's, hundreds and hundreds of questions in here. Reach out, click contact us, or just email if you're not a customer yet. Just go to hello@deepvue.com and email us. We will definitely get back to you if you have any questions, etc. We are running a Memorial Day promo. It's $441 for annual, which saves you 3 months, and then you lock in a renewal rate of $490 forever. We do plan on increasing our base prices later this year, but if you get in now, the renewal price will remain the same forever. So if we add the journaling, we add journaling, news, extra features to the platform, you will still renew at $490 a year. So any questions, you can email hello@deepvue.com or reach out to us using the help menu if you're already a customer. If you're a monthly and want to upgrade, there's a whole flow for that as well in your dashboard. And any questions, I do apologize. Just we do have a time limit today, and I have back-to-back webinars, but do reach out. We'll be more than happy to answer all of those questions. So with that, I wish you guys a good weekend, and I will see you in the next one. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in future webinars.